So welcome back to Video L2. Now don't forget you'll be able to talk to tonight's guest by giving us a call at 1-800-344-2388. Now about my guest today. They was first introduced to audiences as one-fifth of New Edition and more recently as one-third of BBB. However, Michael Bivins wasn't satisfied with just being in front of the mic. No! He had to be able to pull the strings and call the shots. And he does with his own management group called Biv Entertainment. He's here to talk about it and to talk to you because Michael Bivins is in the VLP house. All right. Welcome to the show. Well, hey, so you won't be the only one applauding yourself. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So, well, we just saw you over the weekend in Maryland.
Right.
And you had one of the groups there, Boyz II Men, perform
Right.
during the Battle of the Bands.
Bayou Classic.
At the Bayou Classic. So is this something that, well, no, before I even say that, now, and when you were there, you said to me, all right, now, I want to do something different. I want this to be a show where we, just don't talk about New Edition and BBB because you really have a whole other thing going on with Biv Entertainment.
Yeah.
So my first question is, how did you come up with the concept of saying, hey, I want to kind of run the show?
Well, I guess it dates back to about a couple of years ago. And like I said, like early in the year, Joe Busby, the president of Motown, he sat me down and said, I want you to step out, make a little growth for the music industry. And then about a year later, I went into ABC in LA. But before that, the thing was got me a little nervous.
Because we're live.
The Boyz II Men back in March of '89 at the Powerhouse, we met, and they were my first group. ABC was my second.
Oh no, see, most people wouldn't probably don't know that because ABC came out before Boyz II Men, correct?
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So then the thing was, who's we gonna put out? He was saying that Boyz II Men were kind of like we're gonna be the quote unquote adult group of the company. And I was like, the little guys, they'll come out and they'll hit because I kind of understand the younger generation a little bit better. Because the Boyz II Men, it was like a little bit above my head as far as what to do with a group like that. Okay. And then I launched the ABC, then I launched the Boyz II Men, and then like right now, fortunately, I have one more artist, MC Brains. And so it was a thing that we were just testing it, to see how it was going to work, a group after the other. The next thing you know, it blew up, and I'm here, and they're successful, thanks to everybody out there in the jazz. Motown and Big Entertainment is moving strong.
Yeah. Now, how did you come across Boyz II Men and ABC? Because it's not, were there already groups that were formed, or did you see them somewhere or hear them somewhere?
Well, ABC was formed by another guy named Kevin Wells from Atlanta. He had the group first, and they were on a trip to LA. He was our president. And they were out there, playing at the playground at Shoot Park in the Woodland Hills in LA. And it was a Sunday, and I was out playing ball. And it was about 4 o'clock, and they were just walking to the car. And I recognized the little guy, little David. And I pulled him over, and I asked him, what did they do? They said they sing and dance. Excuse me. And then they did a little song called You're Not My Kind of Girls by the New Edition. And I was Googling because, they didn't really sound like us. But, just because they were trying, and I seen the effort, and I seen him. And at the time, it was 5. GA wasn't a part of the group. It was only 5 kids. And so we talked, and I flew to Atlanta, and I met their parents, and we worked it out. And then Kevin and I became partners. And then that following March, at the Powerhouse in Philly, is when I ran into Boyz II Men on the DVD promotional tour.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second because the phone lines are lit up. We have a caller right now on the line who wants to talk to the second B of BBB from New York. I don't know your name, so why don't you tell us?
My name is Denise Roberts. I'm calling from New York City.
How you doing?
How you doing, babe?
All right. I was calling. I know she came out with a lot of groups such as Boyz II Men and ABC. I was wanting to ask you the question. You plan on coming out with any girl groups anytime soon?
Of course. I'm looking for girls. I'm looking for little girls. I'm looking for older girls.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for rappers.
We dance.
What part of New York you from?
Harlem.
How many of you?
There's 3 of us.
Well, take this name down. Motown Records.
Okay, hold it. I got
Well, you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and for anybody who's interested
Yeah.
in maybe getting in contact with Michael Bivins, go ahead and throw out an address and a phone number.
It's Motown Records, 17th floor, Sunset Boulevard, California. And write it care of Michael Bivins, Definitive Be the Spot. He handles all of my mail.
So you can make these people stop, because you know you were saying that address. I was like, "Where's my pen and my pencil?" I mean, just so I can just stop. Can you really, you know, and somebody that you have had past contact with, Maurice Starr, who used to manage you, he said that he can make anybody a star, regardless of the talent. Would you consider that an accurate statement? Is that possible? With today's technology and in the old studio, can miracles kind of happen?
I think that's just his self-confidence saying that he can make anybody a star. I think the talent isn't so much in me, the person behind the scenes or the record label. It's within the artist, you know, because they have to go out and do the TV shows and the concerts. You know, they have to sell themselves. It's only so much a person behind the scenes to do. Because we can set the table, but once they get the opportunity to get out there, it's within them that's going to sell them. So, you know, it's like a 50-50 thing. Like, I don't take all the credit for my company. I give the other 50% to my artists because they have to be the solid.
Right. Mm. You know, a lot of people are still going to ask the question, you know, I mean, Michael Bivins is going off on his own little thing and he's behind the scenes. That does not mean, or doesn't mean, that the past with New Edition and BD is just that in the past. I mean, you still have connections with them. You're still planning on working together.
Yeah, of course. I don't think, even with Ronnie and Ricky, you know, for those of you who don't know, they're about to start their thing into production on Polygram. I don't ever think that any one of us would ever forget where we came from as far as the New Edition, DVD, South President, Johnny Gill, Bobby Brown, because everybody considers that to be home. And I don't know too many people. I wasn't brought up to leave home and never come back to home. So I think everything that we do, we consider it like a family tree. And as it breaks down, ABC, Boyz II Men, NC Bangs, whoever Ronnie Ricky has, Bodman, all of them are just keep breaking down the New Edition family tree. So we'll always get back together because we owe it to each other to do that New Edition. So
we're glad to hear that. And we also have another phone call from, let me see, Chicago. My type of time. Hello, welcome to the show. What's your name?
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Tom. You have a question for Michael?
Sure, I have a question. I would like to know, when is New Edition going to all come back together as a whole? All the guys at one time to form the group and put on a Dynamite album, even with Johnny Gill.
Well, Tom, we sat down about a month ago and we came up with a plan that New Edition will be started being planned business-wise January 94. We're going to allow Bobby time to put out his album from March to April, I think, of 92. We have another album. Johnny's recording. And I don't know where Ralph is at, but he has between 92 and 94 to make his decision if he's going to come back or sit out and wait. But everybody knows in January 94, that's when we're going to start the reunion.
All right, and you heard it here first on Video LP. Listen, don't go anywhere because we'll be back with more Video LP and my guest today, Mr. Michael Bivins, right after this. Stay right where you are.